When are we finally going to get something to drink around here?
That's right, bottoms up. A king's got a drink after all. And you, King Louis of Bavaria, you can drink anyone under the table.
Of course, there's no one can outdrink me.
Yes.
Where's all the women? Or at least that Friedrich the Fair?
Don't worry, they're all on their way. Come on, Your Majesty, another drink. Come on, down the hatch.
I'll have to drink loads, because I'm the best.
Yes. You're a real hellraiser. Not like that moronic would-be king, Charles.
What? That bohemian bunny? That priest's king?
That shyster? How on earth is a bohemian bunny supposed to slay a Bavarian lion?
Definitely not by running away from me. Just let him come here. I'll drink him under the table and then...
That's right, a Bavarian dandelion.
Ah, this music. That sweet Slavic tongue with its endearing idiom. Simply marvellous. That's what he was like, Louis of Bavaria, always first in the queue when it was time for drinking and roistering. Challenging somebody like that was really tough, but in the end I, as was my destiny, was the only rightful king and emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, with God and the Pope on my side and the power of the relics of saints in my shrine. What beautiful bones. I was the first king to write my own royal autobiography. What's written lasts forever.
Was it really Charles' destiny to become king and emperor? Charles IV was born in 1316. His mother was the Princess of Bohemia and Poland from the Przemysl dynasty. His father, King John of Bohemia, had succeeded to Emperor Henry VII from the House of Luxembourg. But his parents argued so much that when Charles was 7, his father sent him to the court of King Charles the Fair of France in Paris. There he learned how to govern, how to hold court, and also foreign languages. He spent night after night discussing matters like the divine destiny, logic, and the end of days with his friend, the future Pope Clement VI. But by the time he was 15, his father decided Charles had done enough talking and sent him to war in Italy as his commander. From then on, Charles always viewed fighting only as a last resort.
Peace be with you, and never resort to war if you can achieve something amicably.
In 1346, now aged 30, he finally gained his first crown when he was elected Roman king in opposition to Louis IV of Bavaria. That same year, Charles succeeded his father as King of Bohemia. 2 years later, in 1349, the Lion of Bavaria, Louis the Bavarian, died, and the crown of the Holy Roman Empire was finally Charles IV's alone. So all was well, right? No. The onset of a mini ice age brought years with no summer, torrential rains with severe flooding, and major famines. In 1348, the Black Death broke out and wiped out a third of the population within the space of 2 years. Today, that would be like 25 million people dying in Germany. And when there was an invasion of locusts eating everything in sight, people really thought the end of the world was nigh.
Oh, my good friend, dear Chancellor and faithful adviser Johann von Neumarkt, what have I done to make my people suffer like this? Has my divine power evaporated?
But Charles, King of Bohemia, your beloved Prague has been spared from the Black Death. It's amazing. That's a sign of divine grace and that you're a kind, godly king. You use your strength wisely. You're building the first big bridge over the River Vltava. Many future generations will refer to it as Charles Bridge.
Anyone can build a bridge.
But it's only you who's a patron of art and science. You're also building the first university beyond the Alps.
That's as maybe, and yet the Wittlebacks still sense weakness. The resistance of Louis of Bavaria's supporters hasn't been crushed yet. What shall I do? I need to increase my power base.
Well then, look sharp.
What do you mean?
It's time you got married again.
Not a bad move, Johann. Thanks.
Oh, don't mention it, Don Juan.
What?
Nothing, my king.
He who wants to rule the empire needs support among the women. Blanca Valois. Charles married this princess from the most distinguished nobility of France in 1324 when he was just 8 years old. He loved her very much and wept at her deathbed when she was taken away much too early. Anne of the Palatinate. He married her in 1349. She bore him a son, who sadly died before his first birthday. To make matters worse, Anne also passed away 2 years later. Anna von Schweidnitz. He married his third wife in 1353, expanding his dominion to Silesia. She bore him his long-awaited heir to the throne. Wenceslas IV, who succeeded Charles, was baptized in St. Siebald's Church in Nuremberg. Finally, the 16-year-old Elizabeth of Pomerania-Wolgast, a granddaughter of the King of Poland, married the emperor when he was 47. She gave him 6 of his 11 children, including Sigismund, the future King of Hungary. Elizabeth, the youngest of his wives, was also the strongest. Legend has it that she could bend iron bars with her bare hands.
The Nuremberg patricians came round. They want to tear down the Jewish quarter. They're flashing their money around. And well they might, for they're well heeled in Nuremberg. The merchants have to pass through the city on the trade routes. This trade makes the patricians rich and fat, and I really don't want to get on the wrong side of the people of Nuremberg.
What are you going to do? The Jews are under your protection. Are you going to sell them out?
Look in the coffers, they're empty. I'm broke, Johann. Not even pawning the Jews' protected status will be enough to pay off my debts.
Think carefully, Charles.
I've got it. I'll let them have their way. But with God's help in the Jewish quarter, I'll build a St. Mary's Church and a Church of Our Lady.
Charles!
The Jews must go, but damn it, at least I'll have made amends.
Amends? For the murder of hundreds of innocents? With whom, I wonder? Peace be with you, and never resort to war if you can achieve something amicably, remember?
But I need the money.
Yes, he who wants to rule the empire needs support among the princes. After all, it's the princes who own most of the land and provide the knights needed to wage war. Charles IV was an expert at involving them and left behind a fundamental piece of legislation which since 2013 has been included in UNESCO's Memory of the World Register. The 1356 Golden Bull, named after its golden seal, governed the election of the King of the Holy Roman Empire for 4.5 centuries.
Nice one, Carl! You're an absolute genius!
I sat it out with these 7 rascals all by myself.
You're just so skilled at finding compromises in protracted negotiations, and you're wearing everyone out with your diplomacy of no alternatives. Rather like Angela Merkel today.
The Pope also wanted to have a say, but somehow I forgot all about him.
The mechanical clock of the Church of Our Lady in Nuremberg still reminds us that from 1356 only the prince-electors voted, and the Pope's approval was no longer required. The supposed priest's king actually ushered in the period of secular government.
Peace be with you, and never resort to war if you can achieve something amicably.
This enabled Charles to maintain peace in a multi-ethnic state. That's something we could well learn from nowadays. And so the Bohemian bunny managed to slay the Bavarian lion after all.
By the way, did you know I'm number 1 in the league table of celebrities in the Czech Republic? Not bad, hey?